I want to thank NYLAG for this honor, but particularly I want to acknowledge the NYLAG board. You know, it's a voluntary position. They don't have to do what they do, but yet they support the cause, and I want to acknowledge the board of directors of NYLAG, and particularly the chair, Abby Milstein. Congratulations to our other honoree, Ken Engineeris. You obviously do good stuff, and you deserve this award. But let me talk about the heroes, and those are the legal services providers, particularly the staff of NYLAG. Who make a difference every day in the lives of New Yorkers. And let me take a personal privilege in recognizing my chief, the Honorable Judge Jonathan Lippman. We must acknowledge him for attaining the goal of $100 million for civil legal services. No other state has achieved that goal. He has set the barrier really high for the rest of the country. Do you realize that civil legal services in New York, the $100 million is about a quarter of what the Legal Services Corporation has for the entire country. So I want to acknowledge Jonathan's effort, but you also have to acknowledge that Judge Lippman let me do what I did for all these years. And I'm not easy to rein in. So thank you, Jonathan. As Abby said, thousands of people wake up every day without a roof over their head. And people ask me, why do I do what I do? Why did I dedicate my life to public service? You know, for me, it's a no-brainer. My mother was a domestic violence victim. And so I grew up in that kind of household. And believe it or not, the day that I graduated from Harvard Law School, after the festivities were over and it was time to pack up and go home, my mother told me our home had been foreclosed on. And you say, how could that be? She had a daughter at Harvard Law School. Well, she didn't want to bother me because she wanted me to graduate on time, a good mom, but she didn't know where to go. She didn't have a helping hand. So helping hands make a difference in the lives of people who are, you know, caught in poverty. And legal issues come from social services issues, and social services issues come from poverty. So the solution, in my opinion, is working together and making sure that there are partnerships that create more helping hands. And NYLAG has been there every time that I ask them to do something. Most importantly, although Joseph mentioned the Volunteer Lawyer for the Day program, I had this idea of a mobile van that we would be able to take into communities where people don't want to leave their communities because of various reasons, like domestic violence victims who don't want to go too far from home, or immigrants who are just so used to being in their own communities, or in emergencies such as Sandy, we would be able to take a mobile justice center. But we couldn't figure out how to fund it, but NYLAG did. NYLAG did. And so we have this humongous, how do you like that for an adjective? Humongous mobile van that actually has legal offices in it that's staffed with NYLAG staff, attorneys, and volunteer attorneys and law students that are able to go any place that they're needed. And it really did pay off during Sandy. And it was NYLAG that made it happen, and I am so pleased that NYLAG's name is on that van, along with the court system. Partnerships. We must work together to see the end of poverty and the effects of poverty. So NYLAG, keep on doing what you're doing, and thank you so much for this award.